yeah. Let's move some things out of the way. Right. Okay. Cool. We good? All right. Let's just push this live. Okay. Obviously. Oh, in fact, that's exactly what I'm looking for. All right, so let's find out. Sorry, we're just going to set this all up in case anyone's interested. Okey-dokeys. There we go. Just had the best email. It makes no sense. All right, cool. Here we go. Okay, cool. Here we go. Don't know why that's the thumbnail for it, but okay. Let's go here. I do not know why that's the thumbnail. All right. And then let's go set this bit up as well. Hang on. Wrong thing. Okay. All right. Okie dokies. Yeah, let's just kick off. All right. So what I'm going to try and do is put together a copy of the Cardiff University's homepage from scratch. So Cardiff University homepage, cardiff.ac.uk. So yeah, we're just going to be attempting to replicate this as best as we can just with HTML and CSS using kind of as basic tools as possible, tools which are as basic as possible. Might use a little bit of Flexbox, might use a little bit of CSS Grid, but because this is specifically for those who haven't really got a lot of experience, I'm kind of trying to see what we can do in other ways. At the same time, I'm not promising this will even work. It's just kind of me feeling confident that I can. Or I'm curious. I think I can. But we'll find out how far we get. Okay, so let's go from top to bottom and let's just work out what we can actually see. So a header, in general, I'd say the header is really this entire section. Like, everyone can get as semantic as they want, but like I generally do think that the header is going to go from the kind of like navbar, this kind of secondary navbar, which feels strange to me personally, and then this kind of hero image. We then get into the content. So we've got this little box which is offset into that hero image. We then got two blocks side by side, a full width block with sort of like these content things. We'll take a look into that in a bit. Then three. Notice that this is another row and another row, and this is the news, and this has got four things. And then down on the bottom we have a full footer. So bear with me, I'm just going to do a little bit of adminning. None of this is helpful. Wait, where is the actual YouTube? Just in case anyone was actually even trying to talk to me. There we go. Cool, cool, cool. I doubt very much we'll get that much interaction, but still kind of might be interesting. So I think this is kind of going to be useful for people possibly after the event rather than right now. Okay, so what we're going to do to kick off with our general plan. We're not going to be doing any of this drop-down menu stuff. Again, like, the thing is there are loads of better ways to do it, and I'm not going to waste my time doing that with the tools that we currently have, because it can be done in a different way. Right, what we're going to do is kick off with just writing out our HTML. So we're going to be identifying the structure that we have here. So just for my own clarity as well, so we've got this one, in my mind we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You could go up to 10 if you include this, but I personally would. So about 9 different like sections, some bigger than others and some not that significant. So we're going to get rid of this, and we're going to be spending the majority of our time looking at this. I've put a little image of the page to the side just for reference, but we're not really going to be looking at the proper one for a long time. Okie dokies, so I'm just going to set up my screens just for my own clarity. Okay. All right, so we've just loaded up VS Code. Notice that the bottom is purple. If you're using one of the uni laptops, it is unlikely you will have this WSL Ubuntu thing. Please ignore that. That's just something set up on my computer. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be taking a look at where we are. And in fact, we're going to create a new... Yeah, we'll do it from here. Okay, so we are in... so we're going to go to a directory called uni. And this is just, you could do this in Explorer, but I'm just going to do it here. And here we currently have a folder called CMT. What we're going to do is make a directory called Cardiff Uni website. We're going to make that. I'm going to go cd Cardiff Uni. And then we're just going to load that in VS Code with the command code space dot. That may or may not work on Windows. The point being, I mean, really all that I just did there was to make a folder and then load VS Code. Load that folder in VS Code. We'll notice the difference because the bottom is blue instead of being purple. Shouldn't make the world of difference, but I've often found that things just behave a touch better if you do that. Index.html. And just prematurely, we're just going to create a CSS folder and we're going to create an image folder. This is just good housekeeping. In the CSS folder, we're going to create a new file, which is called style.css. This is like the most standard boilerplate we could possibly be kind of going for. This is very, very standard. Normally, not normally, but like generally we'll also be seeing like a JS thing, which has got like script. Oh, really? Oh, you're right. Is it? Yeah? Interesting. Someone's saying that the screen is stuck. Oh, now it's back? Okay, cool, cool, cool. Why separate folders? You kind of just do that so that if you can organize your things a little better, it's just for organization. You're absolutely right. You could literally just have like the style here and everything in the same place. But the chances are you end up having quite a lot of style CSS files. And so a standard practice is to just have them in clear places. But that's a totally fair question. In this case, it feels a bit dumb, but it's kind of just a standard. IMG, we're going to be having quite a few images, and they'll go there. JS is going to be for our JavaScript, which we're never going to use. So I'm actually just going to delete that. Yeah, for us, only one file, but normally you might have quite a few. All right, index.html. Super quickly, I'm just going to run through the extensions that we're going to be using. This all looks a bit weird and like... just don't worry about a lot of this. The 3 main ones we'll be using are called Live Server. Live Server looks like this, and so I strongly recommend installing Live Server. The other one we use is called Prettier, which just makes everything look lovely. And then the final main one is the auto rename tag, and I'll talk you through all 3 of those in a second. All right. First things first, we're going to go take a look at the index.html. My favorite thing in the world is just to do exclamation mark and enter. So we were told in the lectures you can do this with HTML :5. I just prefer exclamation mark. It just works. Cool. And this is going to be called, well, what's actually going to be called? Let's be specific. This is going to be called Cardiff University. Oh, in fact, I should probably talk about favicons as well. Cardiff University. Cool. One thing I don't think we've actually covered yet is an idea called comments. So comments look like this in HTML. They don't look like that. What do they look like? Yeah, sorry. So comments are just notes that we can write to ourselves, which don't get read as code, but they're just kind of useful for like humans to read. So add favicon. A favicon, in case you aren't aware, is this little logo that's actually in the browser. So like up here is the actual title, which is in the head. And then we also have this icon that's called a favicon, which is literally an abbreviation for favorite icon. Cool. The other thing we've got to do is got to add our CSS, and we can just literally do that again by going link, going down to CSS, and then just changing the reference point style.css. Cool. Whenever I hit save, everything's gonna make itself like be prettier. Kind of, it's gonna be more organized, and that's because we've got a thing called prettier. So like the code itself might move around quite a bit. All right, so we're just gonna go like h1 hello world worlds hello world, because that is the most important thing we can do. And then we're just gonna check if live server is working. So open with live server. It's starting, it's there, and check it out. We have a browser which says hello world. We have Cardiff University at the top of it. One of the reasons I really like hello world is if I put them side by side. Sorry, one of the reasons I really like live server is that every time we make a change and we just hit save, like hello, hello, if we hit save, it'll automatically refresh in there. We don't even have to refresh the browser itself, which is lovely. Don't care about that. Okie dokies. So while we're here, there's one other thing. Cool. There's loads of like little shortcuts and commands that we're going to end up using. All right, but for right now, let's ignore that. So let's go and write the markup for our page. So we're going to have the official website to our side. Oh, that's gone all responsive. There we go. Fabulous. Notice how the page is different if we're at this width or this width. That's to do with what's called responsive design, and it's to do with the fact that the site will actually look different on mobile or on the tablet or on Windows. So we can actually see it like this menu right now is what's called a hamburger menu. And then it opens out, and we don't have that because it's got the space to actually appear. That we're not going to touch on in this particular thing, but just be aware that that exists. All right, so we're going to go. We're not going to look into any of that at all. So we're going to use our header tag. People use headers for loads of different things. You know, just to avoid any confusion, we'll have the header include this top bit and this second bit. We'll have this kind of hero image in the kind of main body of things. So we're going to have a navbar. There is actually a nav semantic tag. A semantic tag is just a tag which kind of talks about what it's called. There are certain ones which are better than other ones to use. So for example, there isn't like nav2, or like we wouldn't use a second nav. There is only really one. So we're going to have our nav, and that's going to have a list of things, an unordered list, which is called li. We actually, just to kind of use some, the unordered list would be alumni, donate, news, events, and this logo. So that the way we're actually going to be coding that is going to be in terms of having an unordered list and then having it go from just display in that direction. And the way we can do that in Emmet is to go ul, because it's going to be an unordered list, and then this angle bracket, because it's going to go towards list items, because there's going to be a list item inside of that, and there's going to be 5 list items. So I can type ul angle bracket li star 5, and we get an unordered list element, and inside of it are 5 list elements. And what's even more cool is that it's already highlighted the fact that we're probably going to want to actually put stuff in there. So having just typed that, I can just type alumni tab, donate tab, news tab, events tab, and I'm just going to put a Q right now. We might find a better logo for that, better icon for that, but we'll see how we get on. So that's going to be all we're going to do right now for the black part. Actually, I'm just going to give this an ID of top nav bar. This will become increasingly useful as we build on. So we're going to do exactly the same, but for the white thing. And what we're going to be using, because I don't know of a decent semantic tag for us to use, we can't use nav again. This design is very strange, having 2 nav bars, because that's what this essentially is that we're just going to use a div. And so quite interestingly, I think we can just do that. Oh yeah, okay, fine. So Oh, yeah, exactly. Oh, that's the thing. Yes, so Bill is highlighting the fact that you can just semantically do, like, you can put these kind of bits into there, and it'll be Navbar. Yes, Bill is absolutely correct. There are quicker ways you can do that in Emmet. I'm just doing this in a particular way right now. But yes, he's absolutely right, of course. So we're going to call this, like, sub Navbar. In fact, I'm not going to do it. I want to just create this as a normal div, and then we're going to give this the ID of sub Navbar. And then in here again, so we've got, this is going to be an icon, but we'll still put this as being a list item. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we're going to go ul li splat 7, bam. Okay, and this is going to be logo. We will eventually be having a like an actual image there, but we're not going to do that for right now. Study, research, international, innovation, and business. I'm also, while we're here, I'm going to put this little bit, which is going to be, I'm just going to put it in a div for right now. In general, if you don't know what you're going to do with something, just put it in a div. And this is going to be navbar, or navbar bit to right. This could really be a class, an ID, sorry. And we're then going to go and just have the word paragraph of Cymraeg, because that's the translation button. Cool. All right. Then that's kind of our header. All we're doing right now is writing the markup. We don't care about how it looks. I mean, just to show you what it looks like right now, we can just open this in live server. Check it out. A perfect replication. We have the fact that it's Cardiff University, and we have the ordered list elements to it. We don't even care about any of the styling. We don't care what it looks like whatsoever. We'll deal with that separately in our CSS file. I've just closed the wrong thing, didn't I? Yeah. Oh, no. Oh, sure. Okie dokies. Right, so now we're going to go. We're out of our header. There isn't a hero tag, is there? Okay, what we're going to be using is a semantic tag just called section. Again, like, there'll probably be some official guides which tell you exactly which semantic tags to be using for certain things. I just mentally quite like using section tags for when it is the new section of something or other. So we're going to be calling this a section, and we're going to give this section the ID of hero. Okay, and in this, we're going to have an image, which we're just going to leave blank for right now. We're going to have the H1 saying discover Cardiff at our open day. In fact, if you want to use the BR tags properly, check out how it's discover Cardiff at our open day, and that's what we were told to do, aside from misspelling. Oh my gosh, this is going hilariously well. At our open day, H1, and then that will look like, yeah, at our open day, so it's still part of the same. That is when you use a BR tag. You don't use it for white space, as has been highlighted. Just going to do the next bit as a paragraph. We're just literally going to copy and paste this. Cool. All right. Anyway, and then we got this register your interest. We're going to do this as a div. You can do it as a button. That's totally fine, but button has some like slightly more specific things, so I'm actually not going to do that. I'm going to do the div as the hero register your interest thing. We can just give that a class. One of the standard thing, I'm always never sure when to use IDs and classes. You should be using IDs when it's going to be, there's only one of them. But we're actually going to give this a class. Sorry, I'm just going to go back on myself because this is going to just be our custom button. Custom. I'm just going to give it a class of button. You know what? Let's stop being stupid and let's just use the friggin' button class. I don't think there's going to be any difference. Okay, and that's going to be register. I think we can probably just put register your interest. There. Okie dokies. All right, and that's our hero section because we're going to have this image, we're going to have that text, that text, that text. So now we're going to keep going. So I would say this next bit is going to be an entire section. So once more, we're going to do section. In fact, isn't there main? Isn't main a tag? Am I wrong? Main is a tag. Yeah, so I think this is the main. This next section is what I would refer to as the main. Again, there are all sorts of rules for, well, there are recommendations for this kind of when to use semantic tags. Generally, it's for SEO, which is search engine optimization, but also it's just to kind of keep stuff consistent. MDN reference, of course, helpfully reminding me that the main tag means the main element represents the main content of the body of a document or application. So I'm pretty sure we're good to go for this one. All right, we're going to have lots of things in main. Okay, so we're going to have, first of all, yeah, we're just going to go for this, and it's going to go class finder block, and what are we going to, I'm just going to kind of put this just for my own for my own thinking. So we've got the class finder block, the I mean, are these both study? No, they've all got different tags. Okay, so 2 news articles. Then we've got our like full width banner. And then we've got exactly the same, but for 3. Got exactly the same, but for 4. Cool. And that's the actual, like, the layout of the thing, which is really what I should have, that's kind of what I should have done in the first place. Shouldn't have really started doing this, but still. And so those are the internal 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sections. Then, after main, we got footer. And I would, again, separate this into kind of like, I mean, this could be quite interesting to try and put together. This feels like it's in 3, actually, because we've got this first section, the second section, which doesn't line up with that, and then the third section. So for right now, I'm just going to go, you can use this abbreviation just doing foot, dot, and then if you just do dot and then like a word, like foot, then it creates a div with the class of foot. It's just little things like that can be really useful. The curiosity is that ID doesn't... Oh! ID does work that way! I actually didn't know that. That's exactly what I was thinking. Okay, cool, great. I mean, that's the point. I've got an idea of how this stuff works, but I'm certainly not a professional, so this is kind of the point. It's for me to learn, not just to... I'm definitely not trying to show off. 100%, this is not me just trying to, like, make anyone feel bad. It's just to try and share the kind of small amount of things that I'm aware of. Okay, so we're going to go footer first section. We're going to go... I mean, we don't really have to. Whatever, we will. Second section. And then very finally, footer third section. Something like that. So we're kind of just thinking in those kind of ways. Okie dokie. So what we're going to do now is we're going to add a bit more text to things. No, you know what? We've spent quite a while on our HTML. Let's go start sorting out this top bit. Let's go sort out this stuff, which we've actually done, which kind of goes into the header. Yeah, let's do the header and this hero section, and then we'll come back to doing the rest of the markup. In general, you can just go through it and do it bit by bit, but not knowing if I'm actually going to finish it makes me just kind of curious about doing it this way around. Any questions, please ask in the chat. If you don't have a YouTube account or whatever like that, just feel free to message me or whatever. I'm always checking everything, he says in a non-terrifying way. All right, so what we're going to do now is do some styling. So one of the things that I really like to do in VS Code is the fact that you can just literally click and drag things so you can see them left to right. In fact, what I'm going to do is just have... I think we can do all of those things. Comes a bit strange, but if we zoom out... Oh, nice. Okay, let's do that. Okay. Again, this is just for my clarity rather than anyone else's. Okie dokie. So, first things first, when we're talking about our own just sort of boilerplate things, a really kind of standard thing to do is just go padding 0, margin 0. One of the things that we get taught, or one of the things that gets highlighted is the fact that HTML elements actually will have their own default padding and their own default margin and stuff like that. And that can actually cause stuff to go wrong for us that we weren't aware of. So kind of there are certain elements and certain attributes that we might want to reset. And the easiest way to do it with the star, which means everything, and what we want to happen to everything is that the margin is 0, and sorry, that the padding is 0 and the margin is 0. Because this is a cascading style sheet, CSS, that's what it stands for. If I then said, for example, H1 padding of like 3 rem or whatever, this would be the thing that happens, and this would get ignored for H1s. Yeah, as long as you have the object specificity correct, but we won't have many problems with that, I don't think. But if we do, I'll let you know. Okay, so first things first is that literally for all of our list elements, they're not going to have dots after them. If we show the actual page as is, then we will see that is not what I expected to see. Huh? That's so funny. I didn't know that. So the padding actually moves it all to the left. So the dots are actually off screen. Did not know that. That's really cool. All right. So let's go and actually do that properly. And then we'll do all those things that I said we would do. That's really dumb. Okay. So what we're going to do is that for all list elements, because we're going to have this happen consistently, it's called list decoration or list style none. Yeah. List style none. Notice all of those dots have gone. Now I'm going to go back and do that thing that I said we would do under padding of 0 and margin of 0. Fab, and everything's now squished on there. Okie dokies. All right, so a couple of quick things for us to check. I think that's horrible. Let's go put it over here. Okie dokes. So let's do a bit of color coding. Just for my clarity. That is unhelpful. Okay. Developer screens. Whoop. Okie dokies. So first of all, the fact that we have to be aware, my brain doesn't work like that, annoyingly. So I need to put the CSS down here. I think everyone will just kind of find their ways to find their ways of working. And just mentally, my head does that. Okay, right. So we're gonna do first things first is the navbar, which is because we're going to identify this top navbar, because it's an ID, the way we're going to reference this in our CSS is to do the hash symbol top navbar. And then just to check that it works, we're just going to do background. Background also covers background color, and we're just going to go blue. And you see how it goes the full width. This is a really, really useful thing to be aware of. The elements in general will have the width of the full page. They won't have the height, but they'll have the width. In general, there will be cases where this won't be true, but just be aware. Okay, so we're not going to do that. We're going to do background black. And color, spelled American, is white. Bam. Okay, dokes, and that's what we're looking for. Cool, page done. Okie dokies, let's do a couple of things then. So we can do, what's the best way to do this? I think there's a couple of ways we can do this syntactically. Let me just look up super quickly. List elements left to right. I think there's a display line. Oh, this might break some stuff. This is interesting. So inside of top navbar, we have we have list elements. Oh, it's fine. Oh, okay, great. Okie dokies. Should we do it the other way? Okay. The way we're going to do this is we're going to have this in a little subgroup. There's a couple of other ways for us to do this, but still, I'm just going to go and navbar. Oh, sorry. Navbar. So basically, there's a couple of ways you can do it. You can float it to the... You can actually just use the float command, which I think is awful, and no one should ever use it. But you can also use what we're going to do, and we're just going to shove this to the side. So what we're going to do there is we're going to make sure the top navbar is position. It's not position, is it? It's position. Yeah, position. Relative. And we're going to go and say navbar container. Idiot. Navbar container. And we're going to go position absolute. And we're going to go top 0 and right 0. And that didn't work. That's really funny. Is that because this is inline? No, it isn't. I thought that would work. So that should be... Oh, that's lovely. I absolutely thought that would work. Because that's in there. That's there. So... If not, we're going to have to do it the responsive way, but I was absolutely convinced that would work. Okay, let's do it a different way. Well, this is all about my time anyway. So let's just try and work this out. Redo Control Y. Okay, so where are we now? Navbar. Okay. And I was sure because this would be top navbar, was there, and this gets wrapped in navbar container. Where are you, my friend? Oh, whoops. Oh. Where actually is it? I'm not insane, like it has actually just... I've made it vanish. Where are you? Oh! Are you joking? No, it is there. Oh, I'm just silly. Okie dokies. So... Then we're going to go... Okay, that's fine. We can do this in a hilariously different way. So it's going to be padding. There we go. All right. Okay. We're always going to use rem. Rem is better than m. If anyone uses m, then that's totally fine. But m... So m and rem are relative units. M always takes the the relative size of its parent, but rem takes the actual relative size of the body element. So it just means that if you, like, no matter what a thing will be nested in, rem will always be consistent, but m will get considerably smaller depending on whatever it's inside, and it's this whole thing. So where possible, I'd strongly recommend using rem, and pixels are also totally fine. Now I'm curious about why this doesn't have a bottom. Can we just do padding? Well, what happens? I'm just going to mess around for a bit, 2 seconds. This is just one of those kind of things of like, this should work. I don't know why it doesn't. Oh, yeah, and that'll be a spear around it, so we don't want that. That's fine. And then that'll always shove it in the... Oh, okay. And that's there. This is using the developer console. Just hit F12 on whatever you're on. Hey, I am. Yeah, cool. I'm just being an idiot. I thought I tried that. Ugh, the joys. Okay, whatevs. Bunch of different ways we can go about doing that, but that's just a particular one we're going to do. Oh yeah, and super quickly, I'm just going to add some comments to this as well. On VS Code, you just do Control and /, and that'll give you the comments. So that means that I can just type whatever I want. Okay, so navbar, so top navbar, and this is just going to be at the very top. We're just going to call this like utilities, because these just have utilities. Yes, he says. Cool. Just for our clarity, probably can make this a little bit smaller. It can be like 1.6. Yeah, that looks better. Oh yeah, also our font is terrible, so let's do that. We can do this in the body. There's no real reason we didn't just do the all, but whatever. Font, family, sans serif. Cool, just a slightly different font. Okie dokies, so let's just take a look here. Yeah, so the entire body has got a bit of padding, so let's do that now. So it's on the padding on the left and the right. I was kind of wondering how this would end up being. So it's a margin, sorry, margin. Let's do this. Let me just get it right, and then I'll explain what I'm doing. Okay, cool. No, because that's always going to go into there. Okay, I can't think of the quickest way to do this consistently, but we're just going to do it the long way. Navbar container, and then we can just do like margin right of 2rem. Yeah, cool, and that just shoves it a bit to there. Each of these elements we're also going to give just a little padding to, so padding of 1rem. Just to kind of push them apart a little bit. That's a bit too much, so we'll just do 0.5. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, and I think that's going to be everything I'm going to do for this top bit. So that is one thing done. So what are we at, like an hour? Oh, 40 minutes. 37 minutes, and a lot of this is just me like failing a lot. Or me hitting save and it breaking. What? No way. What was that? That was amazing. Hang on. Well. Why ever is that now on that side? What did I do? Oh, I deleted the thing. Yeah. No, that's fine. I managed to undo something, which was amazing. I don't know why I just did that. Navbar container. There's loads of there we go. There's loads of really wonderful things we can do, and one of my particular favorite shortcuts is wrap. Emmet, wrap with abbreviation, and it just means that you can select a bunch of things. This is actually quite a good example, and then you can set it to like a hotkey or whatever, and so I'll just do it the long way. Emmet, wrap with abbreviation, and then we can immediately start typing an Emmet abbreviation here, and it puts whatever we had selected in that casing, which is just super useful to be aware of. Use it all of the time, and so I've got it set to Alt-W. Okie dokie, so second section here. So every time we're doing a new section, we're also going to be adding to our CSS, and we're also going to be commenting along the way because we are good developers. Okie dokie, so what do we call this? Sub navbar. Nice one, me. Okie dokie, so we're going to also have this in a line. So we can actually add this to our thing. So this is also going to be sub navbar ally. Cool, perfect. Got a thought about that. That's fine. Okay, great. So we're going to do a similar thing to before. we're going to... Yeah, this is fine. All right, going to ignore the logo for right now. What we're going to do is get this cymraeg to be on the far right, which is fine. What we're going to do is the same trick as before, because we're going to make the ID of, ID of sub navbar equal to, so display relative Ruby text, no. I'm being an idiot, it's position. Relative. And then we're going to go and make sure that you are position absolute. And you're going to be top 0. And you're going to be right 0. And that'll pin you over there. Yay. All right, we put this as margin right. So let's also just do that. Cool. That looks a bit... doesn't look as far as long as I'd like it to, but we can sort that out. If we add this... I mean, honestly, I think that's just going to be exactly the same. Yeah, there we go. So we just added some padding as well. Not sure that's entirely necessary. But who cares? Right, so... Sweet. So we've got our cymraeg on the far right, and that kind of operates separately to the stuff on the left, but we are going to kind of line this all up, I promise. All right, so okay, yeah, we can just do that way. All right, so let's do it that way. UL, and we're going to go, and if we just do padding 1 rem, that probably does a lot for us. Yeah, so that lines them up. And then we're just going to go, because this is very similar. You can actually use a different, well, never mind. We're just going to do it the long way. But there are other technologies we can use to help us with this kind of stuff, which we're not going to care about. Padding, 1 rem. Cool. Yeah, there we go. All right, sweet. So what we're doing here, this position relative is just to do with getting this cymraeg on the right. This stuff is saying in our navbar, give the entire navbar padding of 1 rem, and then each individual element gets 0.5 rem, and that's why they've pushed themselves a little further apart. That's why you've got a little more space between them. We're not going to care about the image for right now. Maybe. All right, let's go. Okay, so we've actually, to be fair, we've actually done this bit now, and then this will be way easier once we've got the actual images. So let's go and spend a bit of time just grabbing some images. Easiest way to do this is just if we hit F11, not F11, F12. And we're just going to go steal some images. Notice, incidentally, how, like, so look at this, look at the person there. That her, well, it's focusing on her teeth, which I'm sure she's delighted about. But so depending on the resolution, oh, that's really funny. It's zooming in all the way. We just get the full image, and everything gets pushed down below it. So you know that's going to have been a design choice. Save image as that's WEP, but that's fine. Let's just make a new folder. So Cardiff Uni website. So that should be that. Let's just double check. Oh, Edge. Yeah, so we've got her image. That is fine. Okay, well, that wasn't quite what I expected to do. We can also go up here. You can definitely download, like, the Cardiff University logo. They make that available elsewhere. But for right now, let's just steal for educational uses. Global logo. Takes us to Cardiff AC. This is the SVG. Thank you. Oh, okay, cool. That's just setting the kind of precedent for it. Well. I don't know where that image is. That's very cool. I don't know what any of this means. Cool. I mean, that's fine. We're just going to nick it by just doing a screen capture, but, like, still, it's quite interesting. could do better than that. Like something like that. Obviously, this is like the worst practice in the world. Normally, you can actually just find it in the source code. For whatever reason, I can't. But I'm not gonna worry too much about that. Could be cropped better. Cool. Something like that. All right, and this is, we did this in downloads, Cardiff Uni. So Cardiff Uni logo. All right, for example, just nick it from there. Can't really be bothered with that, to be honest with you. Okay, and while we're here, let's just nick these. So I swore this was okay to do. Like, sorry, I swore is we could get the image. So it's in the after. It's actually very cool. Normally you can just find them, but I'm guessing the way that the site's sorted out is that it's slightly more subtle. Like, you'll be able to find it here somewhere. It looks like it's in the before. So is it going to be anywhere here? I can't think of why it would be, to be honest with you, but we'll just look quickly. Oh, figure. What am I doing? Oh, it's here. Idiot. Oh, yeah, we had this before in the lecture. Hang on. Here we go. No, it does just take that. That is fine. All right, cool. Well, there is actually an element of... Oh, it's literally this. So, like... Yeah, I think it's just behind an element of security, which I fully respect. What's quite cool, though, is that we can see the dimensions. So let's just say that's 570 by 321. There's actually a really lovely tool we can use to just create to just get random images of that size, and we're just going to do that now. So this is part of the 2 news articles, so I'll just do that right now. And just because I knew I'd forget it, we go here. So a lovely website. So go to our image, and we go to https://pixum.photos/ and what were the numbers I just said? It was 5. Oh, okay. So let's get the actual ones. 570.321. And I believe you just do this. Something like that. I believe this will literally just work. Yeah. Ta-da! And we just got a random image of the same size. So again, this is just really useful for prototyping, and then I can just immediately like copy and paste this again. Oh, they are the same? I thought they'd be different. I mean, I don't know why I thought they'd be different, but that's fine. Even if we just do like, you know, that. No. Just taking a while to load, apparently. Does this not work how I think it works? Pretty sure it does. Just gonna literally quit this. You're gonna restart live server. I think I just confused it with the amount of server requests I was making. Yeah. Okay, that's fine. We'll just keep them as that. All right. So we got that. Okay. Cool. But we do have the face. So let's do this. We're just going to go into our image. And we're just going to go to here. We've got our logo and we've got the student life. We're going to put them in image. Okay, so what we can do. Cool. Let's just set this all up again, having kind of destroyed it. Okay, so in our logo, instead of having a logo, we're still going to have it as being a list item, but it's going to be an image. And the source for that is going to be the image folder, Cardiff Uni logo. Yeah, I was right. Sorry, Cardiff Uni logo. Cool. All right, and we're just going to make this smaller. So we're just going to go, so we're going to give it a class of, so ID, in fact, my apologies, of Cardiff Uni logo. And then in the CSS, because that's where we should do everything to do with aesthetics. This was in the sub nav bar. We're going to go doing it here. It's an ID, so we're going to put a hash. We're just going to go like whatever width. I mean, just to check that it even works. Nope, doesn't. Why don't you work? I thought you would. Does that not work? So if I go here, so this isn't working, for example. There isn't a width tag. Oh, there is? Am I being really dumb? I mean, I probably am, but like, well, I'll be. All right, fine, cool. That's the way, that's a way to do it. I'm very sure you shouldn't do it this way. But the other way didn't work for me, so I will take that as it is. Waiting for localhost. There's an issue with these things. They are not happy, so I'm going to comment them out. So that's just a thing where we just remove it from like, it's still there in the code, but we're just going to put like comments around it. Okay, so let's go 10 rem. That's absolutely, so rem doesn't seem to work for images, and that's not doing anything. There you go. That is odd. Okay, cool. All right, so let's just imagine that didn't happen, he says. Like, let's go 50 pixels. That's better. And then we can go, oh, notice how messed up this all is. Oh, this is going to impact on a whole bunch of things, isn't it? Always. Okay. Great. Okay, so why wasn't this working? First of all, we're going to put the width in here because that's just better, but with the correct syntax. Cool. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to push this down a touch. No, you know what? We're going to continue. We will eventually come back to this, but yes, this is not lined up. Fully aware of that. Because I mean, like, we can just do like, I mean, height of like 10 pixels, for example, and see all this squishedness. Sub-optimal. Okay, cool. We'll come back to that. That is not good. He says, absolutely not coming back to it. Literally just leave it as 1010. Okay, right, so let's go and put in the other main image because this is kind of interesting. So, source is image / coordinate student life. Bam! Hello. Okie dokies. So, what's the best way to do this? I'm probably going to end up making this into a Flexbox, to be honest with you. No, that's fine. We've got a way of doing this. So we're not going to do this with Flexbox for right now. We're going to do it. That is not what I meant to do. I'm going to go. This is all fine. The hero, let's make sure that this is ID equals hero image. I'm going to go height equals to say like 30 viewport heights. No. Am I just really bad at dealing with images today? I think so. What am I doing wrong? ID of hero image. Hey, I just didn't hit save in the right place. Cool. All right. So we're gonna go set this to like 30 viewport height. Is that the same? I don't think that's the same. It was. My bad. Okay, and we're gonna center this using margin auto. Or we're not, apparently. Funny. Okay, let's make this a bit bigger. Cool. That is fine. It should be... I mean, there's a bunch of things we should do for this. Why aren't I just doing them? I think we're going to start doing Flexbox for things. I think this is the time when we should stop doing stuff in dumb ways. Let's do that. No, we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it the. Okay, we're gonna position the content and then we'll work this out. So we're gonna put this into a dot hero. In fact, we can do this with hash hero container. Hello. Okay, let's do that again. Okay, now we've got a hero container, and we're going to make sure that this is yeah, sorry, we actually haven't done this yet. So the comments are hero, and okay, we're back in business-ish. Right, so hero image, okay, section hero. It's got to be position, display, no, position, relative. And then we're going to go put the hero container as being position absolute. And that'll squish it. Then we're going to go top of 0. Sweet, and it's all up at the top left because it's in the center of there, but we don't want it there. We want it to be 50%. Can we just do that at 50%? Yeah, so that puts in the middle. Okay, cool. And we're going to go and to... Does this work? I actually have never tried this before. That's funny. So it puts it there, which is kind of where we asked it to be. So let's put it at 20% or 10%. Okay, cool. All right, just to compare and contrast with what we're trying to do. Oh yeah, sure. Okay, so font wants to be white and wants to be way higher up. So we can just change this. So all of the text within the hero will be white. Cool. And then instead of being all the way down there, which I absolutely thought it was, but I guess I'm wrong, 10%. Oh, that's so funny. So it's doing 10% of the page, right? Yeah, like we should just do that. Sorry, I'm not entirely sure what I was doing before. Basically. Right, so we can... there's a couple of like things we can do to make this bigger. So let's do them. So... Hero container H1. Yeah, that's right, we have. Okay, we're going to go and do... So, font size equals, just for my own clarity, what does 8 rem look like? A little too big. 3 rem? 4 rem. Okay, line height isn't actually that bad. We can do font weight. We'll do 100. Cool, that doesn't look too bad. All right, next one. I'm going to go hero, container, P. Okie dokies. Our one needs to be bigger. So font size 2 rem. Cool. And it's a break after the hyphen. So we're going to put a BR tag there. After 23. I think that might just be a responsive thing, honestly, but like, yeah, it is. So we'll just leave it as is. But oh, notice how the text in general only comes up to, yeah. Oh, okay. Sorry. There's an easier way for us to do this. So the width of this container should only be like, so this is the, in fact, I'm just going to call this hero text container because that's what it actually is. The hero text container should only be about 50% of the width. No, apparently not. That is not what I was meant to do. Oh, have I broken everything? Oh, no. So strange. Okay. I think you just have to make sure you save a lot in all of the places. Yeah. So see, yeah, we have to make this box internally a little, yeah, like have a limit. So I think that width is close to, say, 60%. Let's go. Let's get rid of this break because I think that's being done organically. We don't need that. It looks a bit more, so 70. Yeah, like I think that's basically pretty much fine. Like obviously it's not like an exact replica, but it's all right, and it gets the point across. Let's get it. So it's here. Yeah, like that's not too bad. Okie dokies. And then I think we're getting to the section where I was sort of arming and ahhing about whether or not to call this a button. And I think we're about to find out why. Yeah, we're not going to call this a button. Button's got all these really weird semantic extras, which we're going to... Well, do they happen? Hang on, let me just find this out, because I actually, you know... This is going to be a longish stream, so let's just go play around. So register. We're going to call this class, because we're going to see it all the time. So, let's just call it, I mean, the class of button. That is incredibly inventive. Borderline one of the dumbest things I've ever done. Right, so let's do this. So, class of button, because we're going to have a bunch of them. So let's just play around with this. What we're doing is messing rounding. Wow, English. Messing around with this white register your interest button. So padding of 2 rem, just to check that it's working. Sweet. So we're doing that. Notice how there's a kind of like it has these curved corners. We hate. Oh no. We've got them. We've got them on our register interest buttons, but that is just called border radius in case anyone was interested. So border radius of 0, we'll see them being absolutely pointed, but like border radius of like 1 rem, we'll have them being more curved and etc. And you can do all sorts of things with that. So we'll just stick with the default because that's not actually too bad. What we are going to do though is say that the background is red. Oh God, we'll get the actual coloring of that in a second. It's not that shade of red. The color is white. All right, cool. And on, shall we do? Okay, we're gonna get rid of this border. Border none. No borders, anyone? No borders. That's obviously got rid of our actual curves bits. It doesn't matter for right now. For right now. No. Let's just not be silly. Because if we just do border red, 1 pixel, solid. That'll be like that. And then we can go border radius, 1 rem. Yeah. But we're not going to do that much. We're going to do 0.1. 0.2. Yeah, I think it'll be something like that. We obviously don't want padding of 2 RAM. That makes it too big. So yeah, I don't think that's too bad. But the actual font itself, which we are also controlling from here, we want to do the font weight of being bold. Looks so rubbish. I mean, it looks fine. It looks fine. The shade of red is awful. I'm pretty sure there's even like a color picker. Oh, let's just do color picker. Hang on 2 seconds. Why do I think I could? I've just got one here. Okay, bear with me. I'm really sure in VS Code there's a built-in color picker. So color picker. It's called a dropper. Color dropper. Wait. Okay, if you don't know the color of the thing, then just go and find out. Like, it's just in the developer tools. Sorry, I'm just taking such a long-winded route to finding out something which is pretty standard. And it's just because I hate the shade of red. So notice how, like, you know, on the uni's website, it's just div followed by div followed by div followed by div followed by section followed by div. You know, like, you will end up living in div soup. Okay, so we now know the background color, this specific red, is D4374A. So we're going to set this here just to check that it's right. And it is, which is great. What we're actually going to do, this is a little bit advanced, but we're actually going to make a variable, a CSS variable, which doesn't happen an awful lot, but they're really, really useful for colors. And I also have to look them up. Because there's a particular way we do this. Bear with me. So Google, we're going to go away. Yes, thank you. And we're going to go and do CSS variables. That's it. Yes. Okay, so you do root. Yeah, root. That's the one. Okay, so we want this kind of syntax. So everything will have main... I mean, it's going to be the primary color. So primary color. Primary color is this. Okie dokies. And this means that we can always refer to var of primary color. Yeah? Yeah, that's right. Cool. All right. I've been doing this differently recently, so I mean, like, I don't have to apologize for forgetting a syntax, but yeah. Primary is not the thing I just said. Primary color. Thank you. So that'll find that, and then we can also set that. Because the thing is that if you set the variable, then it means that you can then, at some point in time, change it up here to be like, whatever, blue. And the entire page changes its color palette. You know, it's useful things like that. This is the primary color, though, and that's what we're going to use. There we go. Cool. Our page breaks when we're looking at it like that. I don't care. It'll be fine. An hour and 10. Wow. Okay. We are going... Well, we're going. I'm going to say we're going slower than I wanted to, but at the same time, I'm getting it done. 2 seconds. I just have to check on something. Okie dokes. Oh yeah, this is where it actually gets kind of interesting. So here we are. Here's our thing. We want a little more padding around here. So all we're going to do for that is to say that when we go down to our hero, we're going to go to the hero container. We're doing that, aren't we? It's this, isn't it? We can say... Oh, that's why you can do that. I think you could do that. And you go padding. like say 1 rem. Because I think what this is trying to do, let me just check that I'm not being an idiot, is saying that all of its children... Oh, what the heck is going on here? Let's clean that up right now. Okay. All right. And now let's put this back. I actually don't know why that isn't moving it. It's probably going to be something that I've... Well, it's definitely something that I've done, basically. Anyway, doesn't matter. We're just going to do... So the way that padding works is that it always goes top... this will work on camera. So top... top right, bottom left. Goes around that way. Goes around clockwise. And so you can actually put like top, right, bottom, left. But there's actually a shorthand where you actually group the top and the bottom and the left and the right. So this is currently saying don't add any extra padding for the top, but do on the sides, which is exactly the opposite of what I actually meant to do now that I explain it out loud. Am I being stupid? No, it's not padding, it's margin. There we go. Yeah, so a bit more space. Our font is a bit thicker than theirs, so let's go and see if we can make it any smaller. 50? Just a little smaller then? I mean, like, if we do font weight 100 and we do font... Yeah, I think that's pretty... That feels better, and our one needs to be a bit smaller as well. Still needs to be a bit smaller, 1.5. Cool, and register your interest. All right, cool. Their font is a little bigger than ours, and their padding is a little smaller. Font size is a bit more padding. Let's not do this. That's really dumb. Okay, looks. Yeah, something like that. Like it's that kind of idea. All right. So next bit we have to do is this little box here. So let's keep going. Yeah. So this is the class finder block. Oh yeah. Okay, cool. We'll do this and then we'll take a break. So. Main thing, we're going to use an H2, find your course. We're going to then actually have this box, and then we're going to have this search bar, and we'll have a little thing here, but we're not going to do it all. Easiest way, because someone was having issues with this, is if you just go and inspect, and then you can see the fact that it's a select box, and it's got a bunch of options, and that's what we got when you got a drop down, that is a select and options. So we're going to make a select thing. In fact, we're going to do it with... That's not that one that we want to use. It's this one. There are 5 options, I believe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. So we're going to do that with the same thing. So here we've got ourselves a select. And within that we have option. And there are going to be 5 of them. And we're going to have this as being... We're not going to do this green box. I don't care. We're not going to do it. It gets a little confusing. And it only appears in certain cases, and we're not going to touch that right now. Postgraduate taught. Postgraduate research. Part-time courses for adults. And professional development. Professional development. All right, cool. So if we look on our site, find your course, all of our things. So we've got that box. That's how we make them. We're also going to have this. Not going to spend an awful lot of time on it, but we're going to do it anyway. So it's an input form. So we're going to go form. We're not going to have anything happen to it, and it's an input. And it's got placeholder text of enter course title or keyword. And see, we've got this. Its width has got to be a little bigger, so we'll sort that out in a second. So we'll say ID equals course finder input box. In fact, I'd rather have course finder in the initial form. And then in the CSS, we'll go down here. Sorry, apparently I didn't click the right thing. This is the kind of find your course section. And we're going to go into the course finder and any, what is it, input? Any input in there, because that's what we've got. Yeah, course finder, input. We're going to go width of, say, 50%. And it just pushed it along a bit. All right. So that's that. I'll browse by subject area is the one thing we will do there. Okay. So just, that's going to be an A tag. So we're going to go browse by subject area. An anchor tag, an A tag is just hello. An A tag is just where we're going to be actually allowing ourselves to click on the thing. We're going to make sure that is actually white though. So in fact, we can just do it here. Course finder color is white. Oh, yeah. There's an attribute for that, isn't it? It's select. Oh. It is so anchor tag selected color. It's like active color. No. Visited. It's the visited pseudo selector. Pseudo selectors are just some extra rules for us. So just for right now, we're just going to say all visited things are still just keep as white. So when we look back on our own page, it's dissipated because the background is of course white because I needed to have set it to red and I forgot. Okay. Is var of primary color. What? Oh, yeah, I'm an idiot. Okay, cool. That's fine. I can deal with being an idiot. Class finder. Why did I call it class finder block? Ugh. In fact, both of these things, right? I think I've deleted something by accident. Okay, there we go. That's better. Okay, course finder. Yeah, I think I just got confused. All right. I'm gonna go padding of 2rem. Oh yeah, this infamous line. No, we're not gonna care right now. All right, we're gonna move on with our lives. Okay, so and any children of that? Any direct descendants will have a margin of 1rem 0. Cool, and that's too much, so we'll go 0.5. Cool, something like that anyway. So what are we trying to do? Because kind of lost track of what this is. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, because they're kind of tied together. Okay, well we're not gonna do that. So we will do. Oh, that's interesting that it formats it like that. I didn't realize. Funny. All right. Okay, well let's just go through and format this. Then we just squish them together, and that's not a problem. Okay, so We're in the find a block, find a block, find a block. Okay, and this is the course input. So let's do it from here. We are trying to select the... Yeah, select. So course, course finder select. Okay, cool. So course finder select. We're going to set the padding to 1 rem. No, we're not going to do that. Are we really not? There we are. We totally are. Apparently I keep forgetting to hit save on the HTML files, which is hilarious. Okay. Cool. All right. So color is white. We're also going to, up here, going to set a new variable, which is going to be called primary color darkened. Darker. And that's going to go... Can I just... It's just going to go straight down, isn't it? Let's just do that. Be fine. Yeah, okay, that's great. We're going to go with that. Because we're also going to make use of that, notice that that's the color of this. So we're going to go... Okay. Wait, what? Find a select. Oh, there we go. Sorry. Cool. You see how that's now changed? We now don't want the, or at least... Nah, we don't want it. So, border, none. Cool. We're also going to go padding. Yeah. It's easiest to do it. Oh, no, margin, sorry. Margin. 0. That'll bring it a little bit closer. Sorry, margin bottom. 0. And then just while we're here, ID course finder. Super quickly, I'm just going to move this up to the top just because we can. Get rid of this. Okay, cool. And course finder. Oh yeah, margin top 0. Oh, that hasn't worked. That's interesting. Oh no, wait. That's fine. Wait. Where did it go? Did I not? I didn't actually do it. That's immensely dumb. Okay, so even if we've clicked it, it'll still be white. We could just have done that as a comma. Yeah, that's if you want both of those things to be to activate in both of those circumstances. How are we doing? Okay, hour and 20. Okay, so here we go. Cool, and yeah, we should, strictly speaking, have this little icon to the right. We're not going to do that right now. But yeah, but actually, it's not too bad. Now you look at them, that's all right. Oh, we're going to have the hover over. This can also show like hovering. So for express request, register your interest. Sorry. So for button, here we go. Whoops. Cool. This is going to be a little bit strange, so bear with me. So we're going to use the pseudo selector of hover. And basically that says what happens when we hover our mouse over it. So for example, if I do color of blue, and then I hover over my thing, change the color of blue. Of course, I meant background. And now the background turns to blue. Oh, interesting. The border also needs to be changed. What we're actually going to be doing is having this as being the darker color, primary color darker. And we're gonna do that. And bear with me 2 seconds. I haven't done this for a couple of a couple of weeks, so I'm not gonna get the syntax of this right. Transition all 1 second. Thank you. Silly. All right, and we're gonna do background. Yeah. Okay. No. I'm an idiot. Background. No, that should be right. Yeah. Okay, what else? And we're going to go, yeah, background. No, that's everything. Yep. So you see now that we hover, it changes just the background and it does it over, well, in this case now, 0.5 seconds. And that's way quicker. So we'll do that to match that. Yeah, our dark's a bit darker than that. Background. Can we just... And... I actually can't remember how you do multiple things, so we just... Oh, yeah, you don't you do brackets? And you do, like, multiple things, so we're going to go... Border color? How do we do transition two things? This is so stupid. We can just get rid of the border. I think we'll just get rid of the border, to be honest with you. No, I want to find out how to transition to things, so let's do that. I think I misspelled Google. That was great. Transition CSS to variables. 2 properties. It'll be the top link anyway. Oh, you comma it there, right? Okay, cool. That's fine. So, border color 0.2 seconds, and then let's just do border, yeah, because it's defined there. So then we're going to do border. It's exactly the same as this. And the only difference is that it has the darker version. Darker. I'm missing a colon. Cool. So now we get the same effect, which is cool. All right. We're doing okay. So now, 3 minutes to go. Let's see if we can get this little bit done. Okay, width. And it is the course finder. Course finder block. That's what we're looking for. Because now I just want to make it a little less wide. So we're now going to go. This could be a bit strange. Bear with me. Viewport widths. Margin. Auto. And now... Okay, we're going to do a bit of black magic to get this to work, but I'm pretty sure this is how we'll do it. Okay, so finder block container. Okay, we're going to set this finder block container above here to be position relative, and then we're going to go set this to being position absolute. So then we do this, we actually move it to over here. Oh, that's funny. Okay, bear with me. We're just going to move it up to begin with. So we're going to go and put this to top of -1 rem and say, just for right now, left of 3 rem. Oh, funny. Huh. I don't know. Okay, let's just check a couple of things. I knew it. I'm an idiot. That's the actual problem. Ugh, right. Yeah. By the way, this is not the good way to do it. This is just a way to do it. All right. That is an hour and a half. That is exactly 1 hour and a half. Okie dokies. I think that is everything I'm going to do for right now. I think we're just going to leave it there. It's not perfect. It's not great. Many things you should or shouldn't do, but I hope that's given at least a rough idea of how we might go about doing something like that. There are many better softwares and many better ways of doing it with things like Flexbox and CSS Grid. But as someone who also is very much learning, this is the closest thing that I've got to actually making something in this time. So yeah, I will post up the code and I'll post up an image of what it looks like, and I'll leave the video there. But yeah, I hope I hope at least maybe one person possibly learns one thing, and if not, then I apologize for wasting an hour and a half of your time. Anyway, take care of yourselves. I will see you in the next handful of days, and take care. Okay. Bye.